Welcome to the Business Building Boutique podcast for new life coaches. If you are a newly certified coach who's trying to figure out how to grow your business, you're in the right spot. Join me each week to learn simple business growth strategies along with step-by-step marketing tips to get you seen by clients in your niche. I'm going to be your guide. I'll tell you what to do so you can feel confident in your business. And here's the truth, ladies. You can build your dream coaching business without paid ads and without a fancy sales funnel. So if that sounds interesting and you're ready to get more paid clients, then let's get started. Welcome to the Business Building Boutique podcast. I'm excited to have you guys here. Today we have a guest who is my friend, a client, and also one of our coaches in the program, Miss Jennifer Richey. I want to take a moment though before we get started in today's interview, and I want to share a little bit about the Business Building Boutique for life coaches. This is for coaches who are in the early stages of their business. Let me tell you a little bit about my coaching. My coaching is for coaches who are really unsure about how to grow their business. They're frustrated. They love coaching. They definitely are great coaches, but they just don't know how to get clients. They maybe have consumed a lot of information, taken other programs, worked with other coaches, and they still are unsure about what to do. They don't know how to market. They typically do not like social media. Technology is a challenge, and they just are ready for someone to tell them what to do and then show them how to do it. They're tired of trying to figure it out. Is this you guys? I'm curious. They're frustrated, and they have this continued message that they've heard about thoughts creating results, which is true, you guys. That's correct. But there's this big action piece in there that you have to be able to do to grow your business. That is why people come to me. They want to know what they need to do. They're ready for somebody. Just tell me what to do. So my program works. It gets people results, and the coaches that I work with love it. But as I expanded this year and I thought, what could I do to make this the ultimate program on the market? Jennifer came to mind. As I think about the way that I work with my clients, telling them what to do, explaining why they're going to do it that way, and showing them how to do it, there was still a couple of pieces missing. People were coming to me saying, I need you to make sure that I get this done. They were really ready to get it done. They wanted accountability. And again, that's where Jennifer could really help. So I brought her on board, and she is doing weekly business mindset coaching, which is fantastic because even when I tell you what to do, and I show you how to do it, you still can get in your own way. So Jennifer comes in and coaches once a week. She also does a weekly check-in with you. And you guys, you get a private mindset coaching session with her every single month. So welcome, Jennifer. I'm so glad to have you here. Start by telling us a little bit about you and your business in case they don't know who you are.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I was certified with the Life Coach School in August 2018, and I knew that I wanted to work for them for about a year. And so I started there as a scholars coach in May 2019. And I still work there very part-time as a coach, mentor, and instructor. And I just became master certified, which is super exciting. And Debbie, you played a huge role in that for me. But I started out coaching caregivers that were burnout and resentful and had aging parents they were taking care of. And after about 2 years and a lot of work with you, I realized that I really love coaching caregivers. They completely have my heart, but I also really love coaching coaches on business and really helping people do big, scary, brave things in their life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about the programs. Let me give you a quick background, you guys. Jennifer came to work with me last fall, I guess it was, after she had come to a free training that I did on pricing. I want to invite you guys, if you're not on my email list, to make sure that you stay engaged with me because I do lots of free trainings, sometimes weekly, for sure monthly, but they're all really good. And you came to the pricing workshop, and then shortly after that, we started working together. But prior to that, tell me what you had done in your business. Share a little bit about that and kind of what was different about the coaching that I did.
I had done what I thought was a lot. But realizing that I really hadn't done a whole lot. I had purchased a lot of programs that I consumed and didn't take action on, did a lot of really wanting it and not doing anything with it. I posted on social media and thought that people would magically start to become my clients.
You and everybody else thinks that, right?
Yes, this is a pervasive issue. I don't blame the programs. They all had their validity. But for me and a lot of coaches I see right now, they weren't getting me to where I needed to be. So I'm glad you brought up the pricing workshop, because I was so blown away by it and so impressed. And I knew before I ever met with you that I was going to work with you just by that workshop alone. So I needed an action coach, and you were that person for me. And I could do mindset coaching. I was getting coached every week. I was self-coaching. I was doing all that. And that was important, but something was missing. So I literally needed someone to walk me through it and help me make the decisions that I was immobilized to make. So
yeah, I always tell people that I work with a coach too. Like, I think we all need coaches. It is very difficult to be in business for yourself, being a solopreneur. Like, you just want to be able to bounce, even once you know what to do. And I know what to do. I still want validation on my ideas. I still want somebody to say, I think you're forgetting about this, or I think you should say it this way. It's difficult to do it. And we know that our spouses don't always understand our business and can't give the kind of feedback that we want, or that the feedback that we need, for sure.
absolutely.
So why do you think it was hard to build your business? Where were you stuck?
I was really stuck in a lot of confusion and indecision. And although I knew my niche before I ever got certified, I consistently doubted it, not because I didn't think caregivers needed me, because I knew they did. I was stuck in like, they're not going to be able to pay. I had a lot of drama around that for a long time. I also think I really wanted to be a coach, and I didn't know what it took to be an entrepreneur. And I didn't realize that until I worked with you, because I was a great coach and I was doing it. And I had no idea what I was doing when it came to business. And I feel like I've just learned so much.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that is so true. That really summarizes it for most of for practically all the coaches. You want to be a coach.
Yeah.
And you don't know you're in business.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's changing a little bit, but there's this sort of culture around coaching where we should just be able to get clients very easily. It's not quite as easy if you're, not doing the work. And that was something I learned too. So,
I'm finding that the women that I work with who have already been in a business or had a business, they actually can grow their businesses pretty fast, because it's like they, for lack of a better description, they've almost been a CEO before. And so they get it that there's going to be, work that they have to put in. It takes a while to build an audience. It takes a while to explain to people what they're doing, that, their marketing messaging matters. All those kind of things really do matter. But if you haven't done that before, it really is true. You do think that, like, I'm going to get certified, I'm going to get a website, and then I'm going to be in business. Like, people are just going to come.
Yeah, I was very convinced of that. And having worked for someone else for 25 years, the thought of actually having to go out on my own was really scary.
So tell me about some of the things when we work together, and we still work together, but tell me some of the things that you feel like that you've learned that really have made a difference for you.
I think the biggest one is that building my business takes more consistent action than I expected. Now, I certainly am not the consistency queen, but even inconsistent action for me has worked. And I know that once I get to the point where I really am consistent, it'll just blow up even more. I think you really do need to try and fail. And we're so afraid to do that. I was terrified to do that. I had it in my head that if I put an offer out that didn't work, all those people that didn't buy from me, I would never see again. So I didn't want to waste it. I wanted to get it right. And that was so not true. Posting on social media alone does very little to get clients. That was a huge eye-opener for me. I really learned too about networking and leveraging relationships. I think that's so huge. I see a lot of coaches out there really looking to connect with each other. I think that's so smart. Even if you do the same thing, you can refer to each other. I also think that, and you do this so beautifully, is like workshops and group coaching calls and things like that are such a great marketing tool, and providing that value up front is really great. The other thing I learned is that I can support my family outside of my contract work.
So
it
fantastic.
was my number one goal. And I and I totally can.
And you guys, that just happened in just a matter of a few months.
It really
Now, I
did.
want to say it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, we've all heard stories of people succeeding like right away. But the truth is, it really does take a little bit of time. In 6 months' time, if you get in there and do the work, you sort of feel like it just happens in one day, and it really doesn't. It's just that you've been warming up to it. You've been doing some work. You've been understanding. You've been putting yourself out there. And like you said, even if it's not perfectly consistent, it does eventually really work. And part of that's because you, as the business owner, are building confidence and understanding about what you're doing too, about your offer, about what the needs are of your person as you go along too.
Yeah. I also think the thing that really has helped is capitalizing on opportunities that I saw come up, the offers that I created. Like we just had a mastermind, and I saw people typically go to events, they come back, they think they're going to do great things, and then it just sort of fizzles out. It's like the classic New Year's resolution. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to help people actually do things. And so I created an offer around that and got great response. So it's seeing what's working, seeing what's not, and really pivoting as you go.
Yeah. And pricing, you guys. This isn't about pricing today, but Jennifer was willing to come up with an offer that was a no-brainer. That's one of the things that I really help you work through. I mean, we design the offer that makes sense, but also that you come at it with a price that is in your mind, and whatever that price is fine, but that is like, of course, people would say yes to this, because when you get to that price and you're not worried about what somebody else told you should charge, you sell coaching.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get 2 clients at a higher price and meet my money goal, and I did it in 10 clients at a lower price, which helped me build my list, helped me get testimonials, helped spread the word about what I was doing, because everyone sort of knew me as a scholars coach that did caregiving, and I had, with your help, expanded my niche, and this was a way for me to get the buzz out that this was what I was doing now, and it worked beautifully.
So let's talk about some of the actions that you did take that you feel like really supported you in getting your business growing.
Well, the number one thing is I actually made offers. I actually told people that I could help them and asked them to pay me, which I was not doing. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I spoke about this before, but really leveraging relationships. I am in a few sort of caregiving circles. I'm in some Facebook groups, and I really looked there and posted there and made sure people knew what I was doing. When I was in the middle of changing my niche, I engaged the coaching community in my logo change. And I did that for 2 reasons. One, because I wanted the feedback, but 2, I really wanted it to be known that this is something I was doing. I told people about my offer, and I used 3 different social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I made lots of offers, a lot of them time sensitive, which I didn't realize was so important. I held free coaching calls and workshops. I did purchase some paid leads from 2 different programs and learned that even though those are paid, they're still cold and you still have to nurture them, and they're not automatic. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to do that. So I tested that out. I launched a new website, which was 10 million times better than my old one. And I did that pretty quickly. I didn't sit in that for very long. I increased my email list from 10 people to 68 in 2 months. So that was exciting. I don't have a huge list, but I have enough people that, as Debbie says, your money's in your list.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you guys. Your list can have 10 people on it, and some of those people want to buy coaching from you. They just don't know that you offer coaching. So let me touch on the actions that she took, because we did, as she mentioned, work on branding and having her really understand her brand. This is something we do with everybody, even if they already have a logo. She already had a logo. She already had a brand, but really understanding branding helps when you're going to go market your business.
Yeah.
Then also, I'm really interested in people knowing how to do their own stuff. So I love it if you can hire people to help you. And of course, I want you to get to that point. But the fact that she could figure out how to change her website, and she did it like in a day, right?
I really
Maybe
did.
in an hour. Honestly, I think we were on a call together when you changed it. So that is when you have power in your business. Like, you guys know how to coach, and for most of you, the model. So you're going to coach that way. Like, now she has the model for business. She knows what her branding is. She's worked on her copy. We have a really particular way that we write the copy so that she knows how to sell with it, because that's another piece. But anyway, a lot of those actions she took were all things really we'd worked on, but she did them all herself. She didn't hire any of this out to anyone.
No.
You just started doing it and figuring it out. I mean, again, you knew how to do it because we talked about it, but you took the action independently.
And I wasn't overthinking. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that overthinking will just kill any progress you make. And I just decided, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it scared. That's what I coach on, is doing things that are scary. And so I was like, I need to walk this talk. So that's what I did.
Before we talk about your niche and all of that, tell about, you don't have to give details, but I mean, how much before we worked together and you'd been coaching and selling coaching, kind of how much business had you been doing? I know you'd worked for the Life Coach School full time. So that's kind of full time. Plus you have a family, that's full time. How much business were you doing, and kind of what does that look like now?
I would say from when I was certified and started working with the Life Coach School, that was full time. And so I wasn't really actively working on my business that first year. And then I probably had less than, 3 to 5 clients over like 2 years. And they weren't necessarily even in my niche. They were people that maybe I knew or that heard about me or something. It was very random. There was no doing anything to get it. It was just sort of happening, and certainly not making any kind of money to support myself. Once I really did the work, now I currently have 13 clients. So literally from December, when I had maybe 2 clients, and then in February, I was at 14. So huge. And then I had to figure out how the heck I was going to do that.
How could you manage it?
Yeah. And you helped me do that too. So
you guys, she started, I think it was September 9th. And by December, she was making money. And like we mentioned, she had started with one niche, created a website, worked on the copy, expanded her branding there, was doing emails, was doing lots of things there. And then that evolved into this new niche. So do you want to talk about kind of how that came about, what your niche is now, how you help people?
Yeah, I help people become brave, and I do that in 3 different ways. I do still work with caregivers. So my brave caregiving niche is still there. And funny enough, as soon as I changed my messaging and my brand, all the caregivers came out of the woodwork, where I was not getting a lot of caregivers before. So it's interesting how that happened. And I'm still not completely sure how that happened.
I'm just thinking, as you're saying that, it's because you changed your message. Like, it had to have been, here we're having a little coaching right now. It had to have been that whatever the message was the first time, which was a lot about, it was just a totally different take. It was 2 caregivers, but you were speaking to them in a different way. So I don't think they just came out of the woodwork. It's just that you started talking to them in a way now that was compelling to them.
And I was talking about the problem because, I would talk about how I would help you not hate your life and not hate your parents while you were taking care of them. And I thought that was very compelling, but I think it was reminding them of the problem that they had. Now I'm talking about how to become brave in your caregiving, how to step into that role in total control. And then I also love coaching coaches that are in the first year of their business on business mindset, because I'm right in it with them. I'm only a few steps ahead, but I am so fresh in that. And I know what it's like to be completely immobilized. And then I also, the last few years, I've had personally a lot of really brave things that I've done. And so I love coaching on brave conversations and brave decisions that people are making.
Well, it's brilliant. It really is. All right. So out of everything, before I move on to what you're doing with me, out of your experience in working with me, which again, she's still working with me, you guys, in my 2nd level program. Tell me kind of what your favorite part of the way that I coached you or what I offer kind of is. Let people in on that.
Well, I love everything you do. And I'm not just saying that. I really do. I love the office hours. They're different every time. We show up and sometimes there's a topic to be talked about. Sometimes there's not, and we just talk about our own businesses, and like there's no let's do it later. Let's do it right now. Let's do your copy right now. And that sometimes was hard for me because I'm a let me process, let me do this later, which was totally me delaying the action. And it was like, no, let's get it done. And we did. And then we get to watch other people doing that too. I learned so much from watching other people get coached on where to go. We brainstorm offers, we talk about pricing. And the thing I love is, one day I had said, I have a consult coming up. I'm a little nervous about how to do that. And Debbie, next week we had the sales script. She was ready. And you just sort of pivot when we need certain things, which is awesome. I also think your workshops are gold.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think the objection that I want to have people hear that Jennifer's talking about is when you think about group coaching, the feedback that I have sometimes is people say, oh, but I want private coaching. And I do my best to explain that they get private coaching with me in a group setting, that I am in our office hours and in the Business Building Boutique. It's literally an entire schedule for a month of coaching. You could meet with me 5 or 6 times a week, some weeks.
Yeah.
So I offer all kinds of stuff, but you're on there. It's not webinar style. We're meeting on Zoom. I'm talking to you. You're asking me the question and I am answering the question. And although I have education that goes step by step that I want you to follow because there's a method to it, you can be at any place in your business. So like Jennifer said, she could say in the office hours, I have this call and I don't know what to do. And I can answer it for her today, exactly what she needs. And then somebody else can say, I'm trying to figure out my pricing. Can I discuss that with you? And I can answer that. Somebody else can say, should I do a reel or should I do a story? And I can answer that. So it really is individualized, personalized coaching, even though it's group.
And I also love that, we're all at different stages, but we're all in the same place. And I remember when I was in the first part of your program, getting feedback from another person in the group about caregiving. And that helped me with my messaging, because she had been there. Just being able to share our experiences with each other is really, really great.
Yeah. All right. Well, now let me talk to you about our relationship and her working with me and working with you when you come join the program. This has been so much fun for me. Just like many of you guys, I had coaching from Jennifer too in Scholars and loved it. And of course, she knew my program. She knew how I coached. She had been through the whole thing. And she had done everything in it. So she really was the ideal person. When I had my first thought about this is something I want to add and I don't want to do it, there was only one choice of who should be doing the mindset coaching with me, and that's Jennifer. So we talked together about what people really needed. I know sometimes people say, I don't need accountability. Like, I don't need accountability. Like somehow that means if they need accountability, like they can't do for themselves. And that's just not true. What I think we all need is there is something about having this, like, I know I have to get it done. I know Debbie's going to ask me about it. I know Jennifer's going to ask me about it. And, the people that come work in this program, they want to get it done. Yeah. They have been procrastinating. They have been delaying. And so they're coming saying, yeah, I'm perfectly capable of doing it. But when I bump up against something hard, it's easy to put it off, right? That's where you come in. So talk to me about the group mindset coaching, kind of what you think about this and sort of how you think it helps people in our program, what you're seeing so far.
Yeah, I love those calls, and they're evolving too. People can come from any of the groups and bring their issues. And sometimes we'll have a topic that we talk about. Sometimes it's coaching 5 different people on 5 different things. It's really what we make it. But a lot of, I could coach one person on an issue and I see everyone in the group nodding because they're all going through it. Yeah. And maybe they're afraid to bring it up, but somebody else did. And, sometimes we come to the meeting and not really anybody wants to talk. And so I'll bring up an issue that I know is a problem, and then everybody starts talking, and it's been great. It also really helps me get to know people and what they're going through. And then I can tailor the individual calls as well to them. So I love them.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, honestly, everybody wants to be there. It really is. I wasn't sure if everybody would make time for it. And yet it seems to be like very popular. Everybody wants to be there. And even if they're just listening, it's like they want somebody else to articulate what they're doing, which a lot right now that comes to mind. I want to talk about some of the common mindset issues is there's a lot of just make me do it, Debbie.
Yes.
That people are saying. And that's a good topic to bring to mindset coaching, because of course I can't make you do it. I say to people like, I'm going to bring my 50%, which really is 100% of what you need to know, but you have to meet me halfway. Like I'll bring you everything you need to know. I'll tell you, I'll guide you, I'll show you, I will be pulling for you, all the things, but you have to bring the other 50% and show up to do it. So what are the common things that you're hearing or that you see?
A lot of niche drama, which is to be expected. The brain does not like to make decisions. A lot of it's taking too long. I'm behind. The big thing I've been hearing, especially this week, is I'm behind. We're not behind. We're just in different places. I don't know where to start, even though they've been given everything. They've been given the entire roadmap. They still don't know where to start. And that's just because it's an easy way to stay stuck. I mean, our brains really do not want to like do the thing. Some people feel like they don't have enough time. And then there's this interesting thing happening with like, what will my friends say? They don't want to post on social media, or they don't want to email their personal network because they're afraid of what people are going to say about being a life coach, which I can totally relate to.
We do that, you guys. We email your personal network. And I have an email template to try to make it easy for you. But I would say that's one of the most challenging things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's really like owning it. And people in general are really excited for you. And if they're not, they don't need to be a part of your network. You know, it's simple as that. But this is a big change for a lot of people. They're changing careers, or this is very new for them. And it's an identity shift.
Yeah. And look, Jennifer already said it once, but I say it over and over, there's money in your list. It does not matter if they're your personal email contacts. Even if that person would never buy coaching from you that you sent an email to, in those first emails, we invite people to share this with people that they know, and your business will grow because of that. It is very, very costly to build an email list. And so I really encourage people to utilize the emails addresses that they have to start, and to really practice writing newsletters and just practice the skill of being consistent with that is a home run too.
Yeah.
So what do you think is stopping coaches? Like, what is the thought that comes up? What comes up when we have told them they do have the checklist. They do. You mentioned like people are going to find out. It's just so interesting, the confusion that people have. Even now, when I am the kind of coach that they said they needed, that will tell them what to do. And I do tell them what to do. What happens?
There's a lot of confusion suddenly. It's, if we're on branding, it's how do I do it? Even though you've literally told them how to do it. That's the great thing about you, is that you will stop what you're doing and do a tutorial in the middle of something if someone doesn't know how to do something. They don't want to make decisions. That's a big one. It's too scary. I mean, this is all scary. You know, we forget that our brain sees this as danger. And so even though we have all the to-dos, all the how-tos, our brain is seeing all of this as new and dangerous. And so it makes sense, but we can't let it win, or else we're going to just be sitting in no business indefinitely until we start doing it. But yeah, it really is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of, yes, I have everything, but I really need a checklist. I really need a roadmap. Okay, well, we've given you everything, you know, you have the checklist. So
I will say that anything that somebody needs, if I don't know how to do it, or if I don't have an answer, which in 23 years, I have most of the answers. But if I don't, I'll find an answer for you, because I do think that I can get an answer. I understand business. I've been in business a long time. I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women in business. So I know probably how to come up with an answer faster than you do. So I really encourage people, in the office hours and all that. Like, don't go try to do anything else. If you're confused about what's next, if you're not looking at the checklist or you're not following the roadmap and you're still got drama and you've talked to Jennifer and you're just not making progress, the only problem you have is that you haven't come to me and asked me. That's the only problem you have, because it is very possible to do it, to get your business built. So I just want to encourage you guys before we finish up here, if you have already invested in programs. I know I can say Jennifer has been in a lot of programs, just like everybody else that comes to me. There's a lot of guilt, and I don't know if shame's the right word, but you feel like I've already spent money on things. I've already been through other coaching programs. I've done things almost exactly like what Debbie is offering. I've spent money foolishly. I've been in other programs and I haven't even watched the modules yet. There's lots of things that are holding people back. I know I can Google it. I can YouTube it. All the while they're waiting and they're not able to get their business built. I know we've got somebody in your group, Jennifer, that told me she took a year of making notes and she had Post-its all over her office walls and studying more and working, and had never even gotten a website, clarity on a niche, even though every day she was going to work. Yeah. Like, I'm sure you guys can relate. All day long, you're at work working on your business, and yet nothing is happening. So I just want to invite you, give yourself a break, take the next step, have a conversation with me. I promise you, there isn't anybody that starts in the program who isn't honestly pretty darn surprised that, wow, you really are telling us what to do. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I really see you as like a business strategy partner, really. And that's priceless.
Okay, so we need to know where people are going to find you. We need to know what else you want to share about this, about anything I've missed. And we just want to invite all of you guys to come in and be in the goodness of Jennifer and I and the Business Building Boutique, because it's pretty darn amazing.
It really is. And I think we've built something really, really special very quickly. I love it. I love being a participant in it as much as I am a coach in it. So I can't think of another program out there that is better for new coaches. I really can't. I would love to have more people to coach.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it, you guys. I really am. I'm so proud of the work, the way it's come together, the work that the coaches are doing, the results that they're getting, the willingness people are having to be uncomfortable. And I am most proud that I have Jennifer working with me. That makes me so happy because she's so well respected and such a great mindset coach. So thank you publicly to everybody. I'm thanking Jennifer coming on board. And I just want to invite you to have a call. I am not an arm twister. Let me just tell you that. Come get your questions answered. Come sign up on my email list so you can come to the free trainings. When I do a free training, I tell you everything you need to know, everything for that particular topic. It's the exact same training. You'll be in it with my clients. It's the exact same training. I'm not holding anything back. Okay. So you get to see exactly what it's like for me to teach you something and see how comprehensive and also how simple it is. Really, business is so much simpler than what we know.
You really do simplify it. A recent training you did was like how to develop your program, and brilliant. Like, I can't even tell you how simple it is. It just made something that was like a jumbled mess in my brain. Like, oh, I can totally do this. So easy.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. So where can people find you who want to be brave?
People can find me at becomingbravecoaching.com or on Instagram at Becoming Brave Coach. Amazing. On Facebook, same name. Yeah.
So if you want to become brave because you have a relationship that you need to change, you have a situation at work that you need to address. You need to have a difficult conversation with a parent about taking the car keys, or you want to do some planning. You have an aging parent or relative that you know you need to do some preparing for. Jennifer does this family emergency plan, which is incredible. If you're in business and you know that you're holding yourself back, and that really secretly, you're just almost embarrassed to say that you're terrified. You find yourself wanting to go have another advanced certification instead of just putting yourself out there. Jennifer can help you with all those things. That's what her Being Brave coaching is all about. So I highly recommend that you connect with her. And honestly, she has a really cute little boy you should follow on Instagram. And Facebook. She's really good about sharing his life. I just want to meet him in person and just Ugh, he's so cute.
He's adorable.
Such a stinker.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, all right. Any last word before we sign off?
Just a big, huge thank you for the opportunity, and come join us. We have some good times.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Until next time, thanks so much. Bye-bye. That's it. Thanks for listening. Now it's up to you. Put what you learned today into action. Do what you need to be seen and then hired by clients in your niche. And if you're ready to stop wasting your precious time and get your business finally booked up, you're invited to join me in the Business Building Boutique for New Life Coaches, where you will learn everything you need to be a coach with plenty of paid clients. All right. Have an amazing week. Until next time. Bye-bye.